thin cut steak for our peppered steak and rice and asparagus. And don't forget garlic bread. Asparagus. So, hello. Today we are going to make pepper steak. Pepper steak base style with a little bit of southern twist. I might as well just say my steak, my pepper steak, okay? So, I am using gloves only for the meat. Right now I'm letting you know this is my house, my kitchen. And so I'm only using I'm only using the gloves when I'm touching the meat, okay? Now, let's get started. I am going to start with a little bit of heat here. And we're going to use olive oil, okay? Some of you like vegetable oil. Vegetable oil is fine. Just me, I prefer olive oil. Okay, and we're gonna just let that heat up because we want to hear it talking to us when we are putting this in here. We want to hear it. We want to hear that sizzle. Okay, in the meantime, I will show you what my meat looks like. So it is just nice chunks of steak. You can find this at any local grocery store. And I cut mine in threes because sometimes they come in little strips. And that's okay, but I like mine cut in threes, okay? That's just the way I like it. So we're letting this heat. We can start with putting a little bit of the seasoning on there. The first seasoning I'm gonna put on my meat. I'm not sure if y'all hip to it. My husband hit me to it. This meat tenderizer, okay? It's gonna save your life, especially for some of you young ladies who are just starting your families and just learning how to cook, and you want that meat tender. This tenderizer, okay? So we're just gonna sprinkle a little bit on there, and we're gonna go all through the meat, and just sprinkle that and turn it around. And you want it to touch every inch, every piece of meat. And I know that seems impossible, but it's not. Just keep on turning, twisting, turning, twisting. Okay? So that's the first ingredient. The second one we're going to use is the rest of this pepper. For some of you like ground pepper, I'm not a big ground pepper fan. Me, I like coarse pepper. Coarse pepper. Especially if you're making pepper steak. Coarse pepper, you guys, okay? So you're going to turn that around, but you're going to hit it with that pepper. And it looks like a lot of pepper. It's not. Just go ahead and hit it with that pepper. Turn it around. Make sure it gets on every piece. This is why I use gloves, because it's just a personal thing. I don't want this meat and seasoning all in between my nails. Okay, so coarse pepper. You're gonna add more pepper and stuff later on, but this is just to start it off. So this is ground garlic, okay? Ground garlic. Just a little bit. Make sure it hits every piece of meat. Um, None of this is salty, so it's okay to go in. I will say that the meat tenderizer does have a little bit of salt. I will say that. I don't want to have you guys. Let's see. We're gonna use some all seasoning. Okay, you can use whatever kind you like. I just don't like too much salt, but I like a lot of flavor. So you just hit those pieces. Now we should be able to hear something. Oh yeah. I'm gonna open up this window a little bit so that we don't have the horn going off, but I like to hear that sizzle. That sizzle means that olive oil is heated up to a temperature where it's ready to cook that meat, okay? That is the sound you want to hear. You want to hear that sizzle. If you're not hearing that, then that means you put your meat in a little bit too early. And that's not the end all of your meal. I'm just saying, I think it's best that you let it get hot, where you can hear it talking to you. It's talking, okay? It's talking. So you're just gonna give it a stir, and you're gonna just let it cook. Now, can you get in there, baby? Get all the way in there and let them see. Let them see. Maybe if you can come up a little bit. No? Okay. There we go, there we go, there we go. Can you guys see that? Look at that. Okay? That's hot.
Just a little dog be careful.
It's okay, it's
Hello,
okay.
Will.
So we letting that cook. We letting that, and you got your meat sizzling. Now, this is just my secret. I like to keep water boiling on the stove as I cook because you know you can, if you season your food too much, sometimes you can add a little water to it, and you know you have to water it all the way down, but it can help you out with if you over season and stuff. And so I'm just making sure that we don't put too much salt, but we put a lot of flavor, okay? So we are going to let that just sizzle, sizzle, sizzle. While that's sizzling, I'm going to give you my secret now. We have a little bit left of this bouillon. And this bouillon is beef. Now everybody knows, everybody's up on the chicken broth for replacing, you know, water and all that. But beef bouillon does the same thing when you are making something with beef. Okay, so because I've used this quite often, I'm adding a little water to it, getting all the crevices in there and get the last of that. Okay, that bouillon. That beef bouillon, same, that's chicken, does the same thing that the chicken does. Does the same thing. Don't be afraid to use it. It can be a little salty, so be careful with that, okay? So we are going to let that simmer. We're going to let that cook. We're going to let it cook good too, okay? The next thing we're going to do is put on some water for our rice, and then we're going to do our asparagus. There we go. Now we see it heating up. Okay. So we're going to put some water in this pot. We're going to let this pot boil. And we want it to come to a nice little boil. I will be showing you guys a trick on cooking rice for those of you that may have trouble making rice. I know I did at one time. And my father, Lord rest his soul, showed me how to make rice, and I've been doing it ever since. Okay, we're just moving some of this stuff out of the way. Can't cook with a whole bunch of mess. Okay. So, in the meantime, while we are waiting for this meat to cook down, we got our water on for our rice. And I'm going to show you a different rice. So, most people like to use long grain rice, and I'm not opposing it, I'm not against it, but I found that this rice here, if you count carbs like me, and I'm always counting carbs, okay, this rice right here is it, bomb, it's it. That's all I'm gonna say. If you know, you know. If you don't, I'm sorry. So, we're also going to be doing our asparagus. So, I have let the asparagus,
Ew.
I'm going to switch. My husband doesn't like asparagus. I don't know why.
Because I'm not no rabbit.
Yeah, that might work. I don't know. I may have to switch this around. Okay.
That's
Okay.
rabbit food.
So we're going to add some butter in here, some garlic in here, and no, I'm sorry, because we are making lemon pepper asparagus. So I'm sorry, but we are going to put some butter. We're going to start with butter for it all, right? Hold on. So let's get butter. And now, please don't follow me when it comes to butter, because I love butter, and I'm not a good role model when it comes to not using butter. I like real butter, and I'm not afraid of using it, okay, as you can see. So, that goes there. And we just let this kind of melt down. And as you can see, well, I don't know at everyone's house, but thank God our house, our water is extremely hot, so it doesn't take long to boil. So we're gonna melt this down. So you see that? How fast I melt that down? Alright, we got that melted down, and we have pre-seasoned, and I'll show you what I did. I have pre-seasoned, as you can see, my asparagus. And all I did was clean them, of course, cut the bottoms off, which I'm sure everyone does. I hope everyone does. And then I seasoned them with real lemon, and then of course coarse pepper, and then I put a seasoning that I found at our local grocery store, and I put this over it. Okay. Now I will say that's my first time using that, so we'll see how that goes. So I'm gonna use my hands because this is my family. And we're just going to put those in there. It's just my daughter and I, believe me, we'll eat all of these because my husband doesn't like asparagus. I'm not sure why. I could get him to eat maybe a few depending on how I cook them. When I cook them on the grill, he'll eat them that way. Okay? So, we got that. Now, as you can see, your girl don't play when it comes to seasoning. Okay? And that's not salt. That's not salt. All right. So now, yeah, that's sitting over there. Now we're gonna go and we're gonna check our meat. Okay? Let's check our meat. Please be careful in the kitchen. You all know that. Baby, can we get that? Let's see, can you get down in there and show them how wonderful that looks? Do you see that thickness, that gravy that's already on there? That is amazing. You see that? Yeah, that's it right there. Okay, so now it's not completely done. However, I'm gonna start throwing in the vegetables. The other stuff that I have here. Okay? So we're gonna do one at a time. First, we're gonna put that garlic in there. Now, I know this, everyone may not be as anal as me, but I like to stir each vegetable in there, or each ingredient in, whichever way you want to say it, okay? So then I'm going to move to my jalapenos. I'm going to stir my jalapenos in there. Okay, it's not going to be hot. It will be spicy. I'm going to put in my red peppers, and then I'm going to put in my green bell peppers. Red and green. I didn't have yellow. If I had yellow or orange, I would have added, just for more color, I would have added more, okay? And last but not least, white onions. White onions, baby. If you know, you know. If you don't, I'm sorry. Okay, now we can get down in there and show exactly what that looks like. There we go. Look at that. Look at that. You can see that red in there. You can see that green in there. See those white onions. Okay, now I'm gonna add the extra pepper, and then we're gonna add a little bit of butter for texture. Texture, meaning it makes it creamy, y'all. Okay? That's why I said don't always follow me when it comes to the butter. Because I love butter. I believe butter makes it better. So butter, and then what else I said I was going to add? Butter. Turn that down just a little bit. Turn that down. Okay.
Hey, Martha Stewart smoke on those shows?
No.
Oh, well, here.
Just a minute. Let me just finish this right quick. Papa over there, y'all trying to distract me. Okay. Now, we back over here. We haven't forgot. We got to turn over these asparagus. Can y'all see this asparagus? Bring the camera over, baby. Can you see these asparagus? They look good. Okay? And you don't want them all soggy. You just want them, you want to hit them, you want to cook them, but you don't want them soggy. You got that butter over them, you can season them. They don't need much, just a little heat. Okay, we got our butter, we got that in there. Now I'm going to add a little bit of water. And we all say, why is she adding water? Why water? Because remember earlier when I used that beef bouillon, believe me, it's enough seasoning in here to where when I add that water with that bouillon in there, it is going to be scrumptious. Just hold on and wait a minute. Okay, these are almost done. We're going to turn them off and let the rest of the steam cook them. We're going to cover them. And I'm looking for, okay, so then with the rice. Now, this is the trick. Let me tell y'all about the rice. You got your water boiling. You pour your rice in the middle of the pot. And you pour it until you can see the top of it. Right there. Come show them, babe, what it looks like. Okay, so it comes in, and so you see your rice, that's how much rice, right? Okay, so I'm sorry, I don't measure anything. Let me start by saying that. I don't measure anything. And so you let your rice sit. You never stir it. Not even once. Some people stir it once. I mean, that's up to you. I never stir my rice. I let it cook the way it is. It comes out in whole pieces. I do not like mushy rice. I don't like my, you know, it's a grain, and I want to see that. Okay? So, all right. And as we promised, we do have garlic bread, which I previously did. You can buy these from your local grocery store. We buy the knots and the breadsticks, so I thought the breadsticks would match better with our dinner tonight. Okay, so those are going in the oven, and we'll bake those. And we'll only bake them for like, I say a good 5 minutes when it's hot. So that's why I put it in, and as the oven is warming, it'll warm it a little bit so that it's not like, it doesn't get hard. You don't want it hard, you want it soft. That's what gets you in trouble. That's why you eat too many. Okay. So we're going to keep an eye on our steak here. We have this going. We are done with our asparagus. We're going to plate that later, but for right now, the asparagus is just chilling. Okay, it is done. If we don't want it, remember, we don't want it mushy. Okay, the rice is cooking itself. I'll turn that rice up a little bit. And then we have our pepper steak. Now, it's probably time to add a little bit more pepper because it is called pepper steak. Okay, so a little bit more pepper. I know it looks like a lot. Don't be afraid, I promise you. Okay, there we go. So, and those of you that were worried because I put that water in there, look at that. Look at that. Okay, look at that. So it's not done because I want to be able to use this and turn it, and it's not done. Okay, so we have to give it some time. We're gonna let this marinate, cook very slow. This is not your 30-minute meal. This is a meal that you pre-plan. You get up early in the morning, you make sure your meat is thawed out the night before, cut it up, you know, wash it. Please wash your meat. I have seen a few cooking shows. I'm not saying no names. I'm not talking about nobody. Because everybody do what they want to do for their family. But I'm not serving my family no meat from the grocery store and not washing it. I don't care what it is. So wash your meat. That's just me. But wash your meat. And then slice it up. And then you want to dry it really well with paper towels. And just let it sit. Let it stand. Put it back in the refrigerator. And then when it's time to cook, it won't be all juicy. And, you know, from the water, you can pat the water out. You know what I mean? Yeah. If you know, you know. If you don't, I'm sorry. So... Okay, so now we're back. Let's see what this steak looking like now. Look at that steak. Let's come over a little bit more. we can show. There we go. Okay. So now we're gonna plate our food. So the first thing, we got our nice plate here. You can get these from your local, I forgot what store we got these from. If I can remember, I'll say something about them. But here you go. We're gonna have that rice. And like I said, this rice is not gummy. You can actually see that it's rice. You can see the grains. You want to see the grains in the rice. Okay? Alright. See that rice there? Now, we are going to take our steak and plate it right there. Look at that steak. Look at that. Okay? Alright. Let's take some of this goodness. Okay? Wipe the side of that plate. Make sure we plate that and make it look, you know, looking like something. Then we are going to take, let's cut this off. We are going to take the asparagus, okay, and we are going to plate the asparagus right on the side. Not too much, but just enough. Just enough. Okay? Alright. Now, this right here is what we will be serving tonight. This is pepper steak over rice with asparagus. Like I said, this is not your 30-minute meal. Okay? You gotta take your time and you gotta savor it. Look at that. Nice. My husband's gonna enjoy that meal. Okay? So I'll see you next time and see what we're cooking next. And like I said, if you know, you know. If you don't, I'm sorry. Okay, so now we're back. Let's see what this steak looking like now. Look at that steak. Let's come over a little bit more. We can show. There we go. Okay. So now we're gonna plate our food. So the first thing, we got our nice plate here. You can get these from your local, I forgot what store we got these from. If I can remember, I'll say something about them. But here you go. We're gonna have that rice. And like I said, this rice is not gummy. You can actually see that it's rice. You can see the grains. You want to see the grains in the rice. Okay? Alright. See that rice there? Now, we are going to take our steak and plate it right there. Look at that steak. Look at that. Okay? Alright. Let's take some of this goodness. Okay, wipe the side of that plate. Make sure we plate that and make it look, you know, looking like something, Then we are going to take, let's cut this off. We are going to take the asparagus, okay, and we are going to plate the asparagus right on the side. Not too much, but just enough. Just enough. Okay? All right. Now, this right here is what we will be serving tonight. This is pepper steak over rice with asparagus. Like I said, this is not your 30-minute meal. Okay? You gotta take your time and you gotta savor it. Look at that. Nice, nice, nice. My husband's gonna enjoy that meal. Okay? So I'll see you next time and see what we're cooking next. And like I said, if you know, you know. If you don't, I'm sorry.